All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Akabadash. That my honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into the show I just started watching today on Netflix. It's pretty good. It's called The Order. And just a quick synopsis. It says, when Belgrave University student Jack Morton joins a fabled secret society, the Hermetic Order of the Blue Rose, he is thrust into a world of magic, monsters, and intrigue. Out to avenge his mother's death, he uncovers dark family secrets and lands in an underground battle being waged between werewolves and practitioners of dark magic. And the order, as we just read, is basically talks about what's going on today, as far as you have rulers of, or powerful people such as like presidents, senators. They're all, in one cahoots as far as these sororities and fraternities go. And it shows you within the sororities and fraternities how they get together and come up with plans to rule the world, basically. And one thing they do is that they use black magic. Now as I was thinking about this lesson, I was also thinking about another show on Netflix, which is really good too. It's called The Family. And it basically goes into it says an enigmatic conservative Christian group known as The Family wields strong influence in Washington, D.C. in pursuit of its global ambitions. All right, so it basically talks about the same thing of how you have, a powerful group of people, all right, that basically influences different world powers. I believe they was actually even talking about how you have like the president of Uganda come to this mansion in which the so-called family, which is basically just another group of a group of guys, powerful leaders that influence the world, and one main way they influence the world is by coming after its money, and I was watching, it was something I heard within the show, and I'm like, damn, I gotta do a lesson on this, so I, in order, to not to get a strike, or for Esau not to pull this lesson down, I'm just gonna play the quick recording. As you see, it's only 35 seconds of the particular. I think this is season 1, episode 5. All right.
Spout and Scott way out of hand.
I almost killed you.
No, it saved my life.
Edward, what does it have to do with us?
Jack, he made me realize what I want.
That's what?
To be the grandma.
Alyssa, hey! Glad I caught you. Well, you might as well hear this too. There's gonna be an incantation this Friday. I happen to know it's gonna be huge.
It's not another destabilize Argentinian economy.
No. It's way bigger than that. No. It's way bigger.
Destabilize Argentinian economy.
No. It's way bigger than that. Like life and death type shit.
You see? So from the show The Order, they even proved what we already know to be true, but it's just another a revelation into how this devil does things. All right, as they just went into, he destabilized Argentina. So I was looking it up, and what I came up with is, when you go into the economic history of Argentina, because for the past few decades they've been just basically playing catch up, and owing, really just been in debt owing, trying to pay back the IMF. Now, what I learned, it says beginning. I just skipped to straight to the point. It says beginning in the 1930s. However, the Argentine economy deteriorated notably. The single most important factor in in this decline has been political instability since 1930, when the military junta, which that basically is how the government is ran by the military, took power, ending 7 decades of civilian constitutional government. In macroeconomic terms, Argentina was one of the most stable and conservative countries until the Great Depression, after which it turned into one of the most unstable. Despite this, up until 1962, the Argentine per capita GDP was higher than that of Austria, Italy, Japan, and of its former colonial master, Spain. Successive governments from the 1930s to 1970s pursued a strategy of important substitution to achieve industrial self-sufficiency. So basically what that's saying is that even though from 1930 Argentina was deteriorating under, the fact that it was being led wrong, it still held strong economically between 1930 and 1970. So it says from the 1930s to 1970s pursued a strategy of import substitution to achieve industrial self-sufficiency, but the government's encouragement of industrial growth diverted investment from agriculture production, which fell dramatically. So I'm thinking, well, and then I got to looking up. Let me see. Then I looked up what I look up. Okay, when did Argentina receive IMF help? So if Argentina, which it says September 20th, 1956. So it got me to thinking, well, if Argentina, was good between 1930 and 1970, why would they receive, IMF help from the IMF, which the IMF is known as the International Monetary Fund, in which they help you out, obviously, by the name, they help you out monetarily if you're doing wrong. But with that help comes extreme interest and basically extreme debt, which they know you can't pay off. So here it is. Once you join the IMF, you can look forward to your country to be destabilized. All right. So, hey, this is what Esau did. All right. They saw a strong economy, and one way or another, they looked to overthrow it. I seen. Let me see. There's one part in this article, which obviously I'm not gonna read the whole thing because that'd take forever. But let me see. Damn, I can't find it. But basically, it was saying how Argentina at one point, they were, very powerful as far as exports, and which when you look into another thing I was looking into, when we look into the economic hitmen, like this guy by the name of John Perkins, he had wrote a book about economic hitmen, and what they do is that they look across the world and see who has, the best resources, how they can get up in there and get those resources, and thus topple that government. Damn, I can't find it, Shalakia. But through the spirit, as I was doing the research, I was like, well, that's probably why, they would join the IMF, you know, because there was a transfer in power, if you will, at that time during the time of 1955. You know, it was a guy by the name of Juan Perón. You know, which you know what? Let's look that up real quick. So in 1956, right? Look at this. So when you know, just doing the history, doing the research. If Argentina went under the IMF in 1956, right? It says Pedro. I'll just read it. It says Pedro Eugenio Aramburu. It says was an Argentine army general. He was a major figure behind the revolution Libertadora, which means revolution freedom, a revolutionary freedom, the military coup against Juan Perón in 1955. All right, so my guess is that this guy he was in America's back pocket. He became president of Argentina from 1913 from Slovakia 1955 to May 1st, 1958. You know, and this guy I looked up the guy Juan Perón, who was the president before Argentina joined the IMF, and he was for the people. You know, but this guy Pedro Eugenio, you know, he was just for from my understanding, he was for you know, he was for himself. You know. So hey man, this is proves the scriptures to be all the way correct, as we already know, you know. But as the scriptures say, man, Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. You know? And Esau, that's what he does. You know, if he don't have you under his back pocket, he gets together and try to figure out how can he stop your success. You know? And there was a one devil, I forgot his name. I believe he was a Rothschild, or he's one of them families. He was saying how damn. Oh, he said, give me a control of a nation's money, and I care now who makes the rules. You see? So it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence in houses. And normally when the economic hitmen come in, all right, they'll take it by violence. Is normally by what? A military coup. That actually what happened in last year? They actually tried it twice under Nicolas Maduro. All right, because he was another one that's for the people, you know, but Esau wasn't with that shit. He's not with that, you know, because he works out of what? Chaos. You know, they even have a Latin term that they use, you know, goes by the order out of chaos. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay? And ultimately, for the most part, it's you Israelites. Okay? They oppress you. All right? Because Argentina is through the spirit, we believe that's of the tribe of Naphtali. All right? Because it's on the one of the prophecies. Let me see if I can find it. Okay? So when you go to Deuteronomy 33 and 22, and of Naphtali, he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessings of the Lord. You know, because they have what? They have a lot of, which really a lot of, all of South America has a lot of resources. So it says, possess thou the west and the south. All right, so they're in the western hemisphere and they're further south, you know, Argentina, over there, Argentina and Chile. Okay, so this is what Esau does. It says, Psalms 83 and 1, a song of Psalms of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For though thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. All right, so you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have enemies. They have taken crafty, which look up that word crafty, it means subtle, counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, so it is a conspiracy going on amongst which as I just went into that show, played an excerpt from that show, it shows that they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate together against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes. You see? So it's not a theory, it's a fact. Okay? It's not a theory, it's a fact. So they consult together against you. All right? Let's go to Psalms 64 and 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Because at any point in time, just the enemy, the chief enemy being what? Esau, Edom, the Caucasian race, all right, can come and mess your whole life up. And from the time that, since Argentina has joined the IMF, it's been nothing but what? Mass unemployment, and that's normally how it is. For the majority of you people, of you tribes, guess what? It normally affects you. Look what's going on over there in Venezuela. Look what's going on, like I said, over there in Argentina. And this guy, the economic hitman, I forgot his name already. I think his name is John Perkins. His name is John Perkins, and he's breaking down exactly how an economic hitman works. To where they normally dismantle the economy financially, and if that doesn't work, they send in what? They send in jackals, which is CIA hitmen, and they know, all right, what they do is they try to get the minds of they try to get the minds of the most influential people in the in that country, and that's all they really care about. But the poor just has to suffer. That's what they do, but going back into the book of Psalms 64, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Because that's really what it all starts with, man. It all starts with what? They sit down with those leaders, they put a bug in their ear, they throw some money at them, and now your life is ruined. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at them, and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, and it's working for them. So as they do it, they encourage themselves. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? And then they show the order. It's even in the synopsis of the show, they call it what? A secret society. Okay? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right? They go and do they, necromancy or black magic, consulting the demons or whatever to see, if they'll actually be prosperous. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And that's how they're being wounded right now. All right. First, like the Lord said, he's going to destroy them with the spirit of his mouth through his prophets, and then through the brightness of his coming. You know? Then it goes on to say, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All they that see them shall flee away. And that's what's happening now. Esau Edom is being exposed for the heinous, demon he is. Then it goes and says, I'll just finish it off. And all men shall fear. Actually, I'll start back at 7. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. All right. The ultimate arrow is that nuclear missile is going to wound them. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All they that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God. When you go into Revelation 18, it says that all men, they're going to be, they're going to see the destruction of this place. For they shall wisely consider of his doings. The righteous shall be glad in Yahweh and shall trust in him. And that's going to be a beautiful day. As a matter of fact, when you go in the book of, I think it's Revelation 14, how it says how the elect, they're going to sing a song unto the Lord when he comes and saves them, and all the upright in heart show glory. And also says in Revelation 15 how we're going to look upon this place as it were a sea of glass, at the lake of fire. There's going to be 200 million arrows that hit this place, also known as what ICBM missiles. Okay, so this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Okay? And for the majority of the world, they think their knowledge on Argentina is that they've always been in turmoil, but they don't know the reason behind it, which is not even the case. All right, but they orchestrated the downfall of that place. It says, thou filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. So now it's time for you to be looked at, as a scoundrel of the earth. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Okay, so that's what's happening now. Everybody is seeing his wickedness. Amen. So with that, shalom to the elect.